Alright, so this is Purpose Bane Part 2. I had a consultation and somehow we end up going, he was from the Patreon, so he brought up the Bane video and somehow we ended up going deeper, and I'm like, I realized that I left something out. I forgot to mention the important part about Bane's origin and his rising. That's important for everybody who want to attain a certain level of success. Not only was Bane, he was in prison. So most men in prison, you really got two options. You can either sit there and waste away and learn nothing, or you can elevate into a god. It was a movie called Cape Fear starring Robert De Niro, and he was in prison for like, I think 13 years. He said, I spent 13 years of my life in a 8x10 cell surrounded by people that were less than human. He said, my goal in that time was to become more than human. You know? And his character was a beast. But either way, Bane took the opportunity while he was alone, just like sannyasins. Somebody asked me to make a video about sannyasins, and I'm going to do a video on that too for the Patreon. Sannyasin basically is when a person renounces and become a monk and they study under a guru, and the guru puts them through specific spiritual practices that he thinks will help the aspirant. But Bane, once again, he was reading, he was fighting, and he was meditating. I think I didn't emphasize the meditation enough. At night, instead of going to sleep, he would meditate in astral travel. And every time he would have nightmares and a vision of a bat trying to kill him, a giant bat. So every night he would astral travel to face his fears of killing this giant bat. And one night in his dream, he killed it. So they finally let him out of solitary confinement. He started collecting books. He started mingling with other inmates. And he met an inmate named Bird. And that inmate was talking to him, and he was like, where you from? He started talking about Gotham, and he said, well, how is the underworld in Gotham? And he said, the underworld is, he said, everything is cool. It could be the greatest city ever. He said, it's just one problem. The underworld and criminals are terrorized by the Batman. He ruins everything. He has all the criminals scared. Immediately, Bane's interest get piqued. He said, Batman? Said, yeah, he like a superhero. He fucking shit up all the time. And that's when Bane went on a rampage. He started to kill everybody. Like, if you wasn't his homie in prison, bro, he was killing you. Like, his thirst for blood grew. And he decided at that moment that I found my purpose. My goal is to break out of this prison, go to Gotham, and destroy Batman. Now, let's talk about goals once again. And why it's a process. I don't believe in short-term goals. Of course, you need daily short-term goals to end up being a brick house of a huge manifestation of a major purpose. But I look at things with a long vision. I have 5 to 10 year goals. They said most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. If your foundation is not built, the rest will be shaky. So Bane, while he was in prison, was building his foundation. He was building his knowledge, his strength, his mental fortitude, his fighting abilities, and his strategy. That's the foundation. He was in prison since he was a boy until about, I want to say maybe like 25 or maybe even older than that. But he was stuck. He had no choice but to work on himself. The championship was to destroy Batman. But before he got to the championship, he had to work. It's just like the Olympics. Um, Usain Bolt said, I worked for 7 years to be able to win a race in, like, I forgot what the time was, but basically it took 7 years, 10 years for him to be in the competition of just a few seconds. Yeah, for 10 seconds. The same with when I played football. We practice way more than we play. You only play once a week. You practice every single day. And in the summer and the off seasons. It's more about the grind and the process than the end result. When you can understand that, you'll start to be successful. You gotta fall in love with the grind and the process. The same with spirituality and spiritual practices. In the next video, I'm gonna give you my personal routine minus the specifics. I'm just gonna give you an outline so y'all can try to form your daily habits and routine so you can build up Oja Shakti and Brahma's tejas. I'll go into explain what those mean in later videos. But so he built the foundation in prison. He ended up breaking out of prison. Now listen to how he planned it. He made sure it was a night when it was a storm. The prison was in the middle of an island, so the only way to get out was to get in the ocean or to get out by air. He waited till it was a storm, till it was dark, because he knew once they got in the plane, the other people wouldn't follow them because it was too dangerous to go. So they break out, they actually get out, they get into Gotham. First thing they do is kick it and chill. Then they end up seeing Batman. So Bane and his crew was just watching Batman. And Bane was taking notes. He was like, wait, he don't kill? He watched him apprehend a criminal and noticed that when the criminal was about to fall off the building and die, Batman saved him. And Bane used that to his advantage. He said that's a weakness, that he's scared to kill. Or not scared, but he has a moral hiccup to where he won't kill. Bane wrote that down in his notes. And then his homie was like, yo, let's go get him. He right there, he on the open. And Bane stopped him. He said, no, not yet. Let's just wait. This is the power of patience, another attribute you need for longevity and success in this life. Dark Low said, I ain't gonna rob him yet. I'ma wait a while. You feel me? He said, my youngin said he got a cash house, drop off and pick ups. We gonna scope it out. Bro, he was planning. Let me watch his movements first. All he did was follow Batman all around Gotham, and he ended up finding the Batcave. He still didn't do anything yet. He still was patient. He developed a plan. He went to Arkham Asylum and he broke out the Joker, the Riddler, Killer Croc. He broke out all the criminals that Batman but who Batman put in Arkham over a certain period of time. He broke every last one of them out. So then Batman was running around trying to apprehend all these people, which led to him being tired and fatigued. Batman eventually gets everybody and get them back in Arkham. He think the job is done. He go home to Alfred. He take off his mask. He got broken ribs. He physically fatigued. He mentally fatigued. And he walking in his house, in his mansion. Just, damn, exhausted. But hey, at least I got the job done. Soon as he walked into his house, Bane was there. And Bane immediately whooped his ass, then broke his back. And he said, I'm not going to kill you because that would be too easy. I want you to sit and wallow in your pity and suffering and watch me as I take over your city. But this is the power of planning, perseverance, and patience. One of my pimp mentors, He said it's the 3 P's: preparation, planning, and then popping it. First, you have to prepare / plan, and then you get to pop it. You get to pop your collar, but you can't pop your collar before you start planning and having a preparation. That's how you go broke. That's how you be rich instead of wealthy. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. You feel me? The same with women. It's a video, and this borderlining on ism, so I'm gonna keep it short. But this applies to the ism as well. Tony Montana and Scarface. It's a clip where his homie, who was a Rico Suave type dude, meaning he was Spanish, good looking, exuding sexual charisma and confidence, and he was like, "Man, there's so many girls in here, man. Like, I want to go pick up the girls." And Tony said, "Listen, that's not how it works in this country. You gonna look like a fool, man. You gonna look like a fucking fool. You just watch, Tony. Just watch." Walked over to the girl, did his little tongue trick, and she slapped him. And then he got all mad. And Tony got up, walked over. He said, "All right, come on. He grabbed him and said, "That's not how it works in America. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the respect, then you get the girls." And that's where all the rappers, bunch of rap songs, money, power, respect. You know what I mean? Fredo Santana, The Lox got a song called Money, Power, Respect. Meek said, "We just want the money and the respect and all the power." Bro, that's how America operates. I'm not saying you can't get girls without that, because you clearly can. But it's the highest quality woman that you can get. At some point, 6s through 8s is gonna get boring. You gonna want a 10. And if not a 10, you gonna want an 8 that's loyal and stumped down on your process. But to me, even though it is fun sometimes, the cold approach is reckless. You're stepping out of frame and you're walking into her frame. But if you sit back and build your own kingdom with preparation, patience, planning, then you set the terms and the parameter for women that come into your life, because you're already established. That's playing the game on easy mode. You don't gotta talk. You don't gotta convince her. It's your world, your demeanor, your status speaks for itself. Even though I do still believe you gotta have charisma, because charisma is the number one most important thing when it comes to women. But that's another topic. But you can apply this to any area of life. Let's use me, for example, with YouTube. I know it's a lot of YouTubers that write books, and I'm like, but how? No offense to them, but you have nothing useful to say. You just writing a book because of a money grab. And some dude comments like, "Yo, bro, when you write a book, I'm gonna buy 2 copies, one for me and one for my sons." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna write a book yet." I said, "I gotta wait till I have more experience and knowledge." He said, "From looking at it, bro, I'm older than you and you seem like you got it all." And I'm like, "Nah," because I understand the difference between good and great. I will not write my first book until I am great, until I write a masterpiece. It ain't about writing a book. It's about writing a #1 bestseller. It's about being #1 on Amazon. It's not about just writing the book. But people miss that because they're chasing the money. Even some dudes, when they jump on YouTube, I knew dudes, well, you know, because the algorithm sometimes just throw you random people. But I know dudes who jump on YouTube and immediately make a Patreon. They don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet, and they're making a Patreon trying to get people to subscribe. They're trying to cheat the game. You can never cheat the game. And when you try to cheat the game not going to be kind to you. I didn't start a Patreon until after probably like 30K maybe. And people was been asking me to make one, but I just didn't feel that I was ready to make one. Because I don't cheat in the process. I'm comfortable taking the stairs to success. Some people take the ladder. They're lucky to be blessed in families that's rich and that they take care of them. Or maybe they just try to take shortcuts. I'm fine with taking the stairs. You know? But we gotta implement patience, planning, preparation. Then we can pop it. It's the art of staying down. There's nothing wrong with staying down. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's one of my favorite sayings about a process. Brick by brick, day by day. When you look up, you're gonna have a castle and a kingdom that's impenetrable because you laid the foundation first with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So I hope you all have a wonderful week and attack the week with patience, planning, and preparation. You dig?